Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to give it a couple more minutes before we start the webinar here today. Everybody just file in, take a seat. There's a little bit of webinar humor there. Don't know if anybody caught that. No. Giving it a try. But yeah, we'll be kicking off the webinar here shortly. All right. Welcome to the Texas Energy Renewable Roundup. How is everyone? Good to have an audience here with us today. We are just about set to kick this off. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be with us. We're advantaged here today to have two experts on renewable energy in the great state of Texas. We have Tim Richmond, the Senior Manager for Channel Sales at Chariot Energy. And we have Cam Sahota, who is a Senior Product Manager at Q-Cells. My name is Jeff Gill. I'm the Channel Strategy Development Manager here at Q-Cells. And we are very excited to have you all here with us today. We are going to be discussing, of course, the great state of Texas. We're going to be discussing Q-Cells' partnership with Chariot Energy. We're going to be discussing Chariot's solar buyback plan and Q-Cells' Q.HOME core energy storage system. And if we have time here today, we're going to discuss a really great promo that we have going on for installers and do some Q&A at the end. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So what I'd like to do is really quickly introduce Q-Cells, give a snapshot of the company. Wood Mackenzie ranks us as the #1 for residential and commercial segments for solar since 2018 and 2019 respectively. We take that very seriously and we thank you. We want to earn your business. So we are thankful and humble about having that #1 spot. So thank you. We are, of course, backed by the Hanwha Group. $186 billion in total assets in 2022. Chariot Energy, we'll say it again, is our sister company with the Hanwha Group. We are backed by a large conglomerate. The Hanwha Group is, of course. So that means we are going to have more to offer, and we have the bankability, the staying power of a major manufacturer. Speaking of manufacturing, we were manufacturing in the United States before it was cool. I know a lot of people are talking about their manufacturing presence here in the United States now. Q-Cells has been here a while. In fact, we are setting up the only complete solar supply chain for PV modules in the United States, and manufacturing, of course, out of Dalton, Georgia currently. We are one of the top rated brands in Europe, where our global headquarters for R&D is in Thalheim, Germany. And of course, we have the sort of product quality that deserves some of these rankings and some of these accolades, backed by a 25-year warranty and quality assurance. So Q-Cells is a complete energy solution provider, and Chariot Energy is our sister company. They are a retail electricity provider. And here to talk a little bit more about that is my colleague, Tim Richmond. Tim?
Thanks, Jeff. Hey, everybody. So I'm gonna run you through a little bit about Chariot Energy. Jeff gave us a good kind of lead in. Quick background: Chariot Energy has been around. We've been serving customers since June of 2019, and we launched our solar buyback program end of 2019. It's either October or November. Excuse me. So we've been in this about a little over 4 years now. There's a lot going on last 4 years. So we've seen it all. We're still here. We've been doing the best to establish ourselves in Texas, ERCOT specifically, as a 100% solar company. We are a DBA of a company called 174 Power Global, who is a Hanwha Energy utility scale developer, and they built a solar plant out in West Texas, which is kind of the genesis that spawned Chariot out of that. So we were the first company to bring only 100% solar offset plans to Texas in 2019. It's kind of become a standard out there now, and we feel pretty responsible for driving that. We feel pretty proud of that. So so we're making our mark. Jeff, you can go ahead and skip ahead. Excuse me. So without getting too deep into how the sausage is made, if y'all know this already, then sit back. But the way that solar buyback in Texas works is a little different than other states, notably that the utility does not really participate in the buyback process. You don't earn credits for delivery from the regulated utility. So Encore, CenterPoint, AEP, they'll take your power back to the grid, but they're not going to pay you for it. So it's as Texas is a fully deregulated market in the deregulated zones, the buyback setup is an agreement between the end use customer and their retail provider, such as Chariot. And we make an agreement with a customer, very similar, almost the exact same process for when customers sign up for traditional grid power, be they in an apartment or a home. Just make an agreement, and we agree to pay them for their excess solar generation off their rooftop. And we have a couple of different plans I'll get into pretty briefly. And that's really how it is. It's just an agreement between two parties. And so the way that what happens, so does a customer have to be on solar buyback if they have solar panels? No, they don't. The power is still going back to the grid if they have the interconnection agreement and everything with the utility, which they pretty much have to have. And what's happening then is they're donating that power to the provider. So we're very appreciative of that, but that's not really how most customers want to go. So we have a solar buyback product that we would like them to do. And again, we are only active in the deregulated areas in Texas. So the Encore, CenterPoint, AEP North, AEP Central, and TNMP zones. We will be in Lubbock Power and Light when they join ERCOT towards the end of the year, provided that doesn't get delayed. And so certain areas, Austin, San Antonio, are not deregulated. Unfortunately, we can't serve customers there. But the suburbs, as they're sprawling out, we can serve a bunch of the suburbs around. So we can definitely check the zip code. So so let's go, Jeff, go ahead and jump forward. I'm going to do my best to not just sit here and read slides to y'all. So Chariot and Q-Cells have partnered up this year on bringing this product to their end use customers through their family of installers, distributors, what have you. And what we've built together on this is we have two different plans that are exclusively available through Q-Cells and their installer distributor network. And then we also have two plans that are available to the wider public that are on our website as well. And we'll touch on all 4 of the plans. They're very similar. The rates are different, is how we get down to it. So what makes Chariot's buyback plans different? What makes them good? Or better? How about that? So we have all of our grid power energy is fixed rate from the grid, plus delivery pass through, kind of become the standard setup in Texas. And it also has a base charge for the solar buyback product. That is the same for both our fixed buyback rate product and our index buyback rate product. All the grid power is fixed. You're not going to do index. You can't do index anymore off of the grid. So the difference between the products, the main difference, and that grid energy, just to add in, is all 100% solar offset from our West Texas plant. So it really is a way to tell customers that they can go solar 24/7. And so the way that we have our fixed buyback plans setups, well, before I get into the specifics of that, the credits on these plans are settled to cash on your bill, effectively cash. So you're not going to offset any sort of, it doesn't offset charges. It doesn't roll back the kilowatt hour count or anything like that. If I buy $50 worth of power from the customer, they're going to have a $50 credit on their bill, just like they sent us $50 bill payment. We will buy, we don't have any hard caps. We will buy every kilowatt hour the customer sends to us. We don't cap it at their grid power consumption levels or any sort of discounted percentage. Every kilowatt hour they send us, we're going to pay for it. Those credits can be used against delivery charges, base charges, taxes. Again, they don't offset anything specific. It's just a bottom line credit, just like they send us cash. Can't say that often enough. If a customer has a negative bill, it can happen. Those credits will roll over. They belong to the customer. Those credits will roll over to the next bill, and they will continue to roll over to the next bill until the customer basically uses them. If a customer moves, they sell their home and move to another place in Texas, as long as Chariot can serve that new house, even if they move to an apartment, doesn't have to have solar, we will move the credits to their new location. They belong to the customer in our eyes. So if we can keep them with them, we will keep them with them. And at the end of the day, the only way the customer loses the credits is if they cease to use Chariot as their provider. We cannot cash out the credits. So if they leave, they lose them. But if they stay, we'll move them around. We'll keep them with them as long as we can chase them down. All right, Jeff, go ahead and jump us over. So under the Q-Cells programs, we offer some exclusive terms. We offer our longest fixed rate terms are through the Q-Cells program, up to 60-month terms. If you just go to our website, we max out at 36 months. So a 3-year term versus a 5-year term. So 2 extra years of price protection for this. And again, this is kind of touching what I've already covered. Jeff, you can go ahead and jump. All right, so here's kind of the meat and potatoes. These are our all 4 of our solar buyback plans. Don't let it get overwhelming. There's 2 structures of plans: a fixed buyback plan and an index buyback plan. So the plans on the left of your screen, Lumen and Radiant, these are your Q-Cells exclusive plans. These are only available through the Q-Cells, only available to Q-Cells installers, distributors, all that. So ask how to join. And these plans, Lumen is the fixed buyback rate plan. Radiant is the index buyback rate plan. Lumen, now these rates, just a quick caveat, these rates are an example of about where our rates are landing right now. They are slightly different for different utilities, different terms. This is just giving an illustrative. So don't come back and hold us to 8.9. It may be 8.85. So with the fixed plan, the way that works is Lumen customer will pay us 8.9 cents fixed for grid power plus delivery. Whatever the regulated delivery is, we're going to pass that through a cost. And then the buyback rate will be set to that energy rate. So if they buy from us at 8.9 plus delivery, we will buy from the customer at 8.9. And that is fixed for the term of the contract. So they sign a 60-month contract like this, it's going to be 8.9 and 8.9 for the term of the contract. and that's it. The index plan, a little more complicated because it is not a fixed buyback rate. It is settled to the ERCOT settlement point price index, which was made famous during Winter Storm Uri. And it's basically the 15-minute real-time price intervals in Texas. This does have we have set a floor of 0 on the price. That index can go negative, but we're not going to expect a customer to pay us to take their power. So we have a floor at 0. It does have a cap at 25 cents a kilowatt hour. So between 0 and 25, that covers typically about 99% of all index prints for a year. And we'll pay the customer basically whatever we sell it for. So we sell their power to the real-time index. So if we sell it for 2 cents a kilowatt hour, customer is going to get 2 cents a kilowatt hour for that 15-minute period as reported by their smart meter. If we sell it for 22 cents a kilowatt hour, we'll pay them 22 cents a kilowatt hour. Because we're passing it through, it's cheaper for us to serve, hence the energy rate and the base charge on this product will be lower than on the fixed buyback rate plan. That's just kind of the reality of the product. Jumping over to the right, these are our street rate products. These are available on our website. Just kind of giving a comparison. Rise is our fixed buyback plan, same setup as Lumen. The only difference is that the rates can only be locked for up to 36 months, and the rates are higher. It's not the exclusive partnership program. Same thing with Shine. Shine is the index product, same structure as Radiant, same setup, but the max is out at 36 months, locked term, and the price is a little higher. That's really the difference between them. So at the end of the day, because solar buyback there's not a one size fits all or a perfect product with this. It's not just get the cheapest rate you can, like if for traditional power. There's 2 variables to this equation: how much they're taking from the grid and how much they're selling back to the grid. So it's not a perfect fit for everybody. So what we've done is we're trying to build products, and we may build more as time goes on, as customers have a need, to really empower the customers and their partners, installers, consultants, whoever they're working with, to the tools to pick a product that best fits their scenario. So that's kind of what we're going to do. And our intention is to keep expanding this and empower the customers to pick what works best for them. That really wraps up kind of my products talk. I think that's my last slide, right, Jeff?
Yeah, that is. But
okay,
that was excellent. Thank you.
Good, because if you put up another one of my slides, I don't know what else to talk about. But yeah,
well,
so
we're doing it live. I'm just going to surprise you with a surprise slide.
Well, I will mute myself and hand it off. But thanks for listening. I look forward to any questions y'all may have afterwards.
Yeah, and Tim, I mean, honestly, I think it's such a cool and novel concept that even if you don't buy solar, you can purchase completely green energy with Chariot, and you guys really pioneered that in the state of Texas. That's excellent.
Yeah, I mean, Texas was a big wind state forever, and solar's really kind of made inroads on the grid scale, and which is great. It's an on-peak product. It really helps balance some of the wind load, and it's also bringing in a lot of solar RECs that we can use to offset customers' usage and allow them to go solar if they want. And honestly, it never costed as much as everyone made it sound like it costed. So we brought the product to the market, a solar product, at the same rate that other people were selling, traditional brown natural gas coal-fired products. And it really kind of upset a lot of people. But hey, it moved the goalposts, and we like it. We're proud of that.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much. And we're definitely going to have some questions. So stick around. Switching gears here slightly to distributed energy resources, we would like to talk a little bit more about our distributed energy resource, our ESS, our energy storage system, Q.HOME Core. Here with us today, we have a senior product manager from Q Cells, my friend, Cam Sahota. Cam, could you give us an introduction here? ESS, energy storage writ large, it's playing an increasingly important role for ISOs as a tool. to promote grid resiliency and stability and the safe functioning and healthy the health of our grid. So we have our offering here, our battery offering. Cam, you're going to take us through kind of the technical aspects of this. So take it away.
Absolutely, and thank you, Jeff, and welcome to the audience. Really, it's a pleasure to be on the call with you. Thank you for joining. I might just say, you guys all know us well. You know Q-Cells, right? Obviously, a number one market share leading module company, as you know. So our ambition is to, obviously do a lot more. And as you've heard from Tim, and Jeff, our ambition is to be a complete energy solutions provider. So take a look at the module and look at everything else that goes around it. And this is really playing into that, vision. So Q-Cells complete energy solution for the residential home. And we call it Q.HOME Core, which is the umbrella, if you will. And that encompasses not only the inverter, the battery, and the hub, but we take it a step further. We also include the PV module. I might say we're the first in the market now to offer such a solution where it's fully integrated from module to inverter to the battery. And then even the MLPE, if you're doing rapid shutdown or an optimized solution, Q-Cells can provide the entire solution. Now, why would we do this? Well, obviously, we want to completely validate the performance, the functionality, and have essentially a reference design for you. So you don't have to experiment, right? So Q-Cells has run this system through the paces, if you will, a very rigorous development and testing schedule where we've gone through field trials and, a number of installations and collected feedback from folks like yourself, manufacturers, homeowners, and then refined the solution. So, the benefit of that is obviously you have one partner to deal with, kind of one phone call, if you will, whether it's the module, the inverter, the battery, one phone number, we can take care of you, right? So, and that also includes one warranty. So you got a comprehensive warranty, a system that's been proven out and that you basically deploy. When we developed this product, one of the things we wanted to offer was maximum design flexibility. That means using just a few components, an inverter, battery, and a hub, you can do everything. So this system, for example, could be installed indoors or outdoors. We could have it wall mounted or floor mounted. You could do partial home or whole home backup. You could have a small system from like a small battery or to a large battery. You could parallel batteries. So there's a lot of scalability there. And, whether you wanted to, for example, retrofit an existing site that has PV, you could just add the battery, what we call AC coupled, or you could do a brand new system where you've got the whole value of Q-Cells, the modules, the inverters, the battery, what we call DC coupled. And so that's the flexibility, the scalability in this system. As I said, you could parallel 4 of these cabinets to build a large system up to 80 kilowatt hours. And last but not least, safety and simplicity, keeping it simple, meaning let's make it easy to install. This is a modular system where the battery modules are lightweight, just a little under 100 pounds. And those could be installed in a modular fashion. You may be familiar with Lego blocks, and that's how this goes together, is that you could build a small system with just 2 modules that would be 10 kilowatt hours, or get up to 4 modules to build a 20 kilowatt hour system, or parallel 4 of those to build a large system, as often is done in Texas, where you need more storage than 20 kilowatt hours. So we can do that. Safety, the lithium iron phosphate chemistry in this battery is well recognized for safety. It comes with a 95 UL 9540 certification, if you will, which is a thermal runaway test, just validating safety aspect of the battery. And then for rooftop safety, rapid shutdown, that feature's built into the system. And again, along with the schedule, the flexibility, the 200% oversizing on the DC. So basically, it's a system that allows you to do pretty much everything And we have an applications team on board that can engage with you from preliminary site assessment to design layout, looking at the single line diagrams, and then getting on site, training you guys on our product. Right? You guys are the experts, but we want to share our knowledge and help you with the installation, commissioning, so you have a great experience. Jeff, slide, please. So let's take a look at this building blocks here. What you see in the picture, where the Q-Cells logo is, that block is the inverter. It's a 7.6 kilowatt inverter. It's a hybrid inverter. So obviously you need a hybrid inverter for DC and AC coupling. And then there are 4 modules underneath. Those are the individual battery modules. Each module is 5 kilowatt hours. And we need a minimum of 2 of them. So you can build with 2 modules, which will be roughly half the height of this, would be a 10 kilowatt hour system. With this system with 4 battery modules is 20 kilowatt hours. What you see on the top right is the hub or the backup interface that has the auto transformer, the transfer switch built in with a revenue grade meter. And you can parallel 4 of these battery cabinets into one of those hubs. It's a 200 amp rated hub. So you can expand your system, up to 80 kilowatt hours, which, is a pretty good size system. One of the cool features about this is the simplicity of the installation. We wanted to make it easy. There are practically no wires to connect between the battery modules up to the inverter. Basically, the battery modules plug into each other just with blind mating connectors. So it's made really simple. Another cool feature is the depth of this system. You don't see it here, but it's only 5.8 inches deep. One of the most shallow depths, which means it takes very little floor space, right? And the homeowners love it. It looks really cool. The aesthetics of this system are very attractive. As I said earlier, you could do DC coupled or AC coupled, scalable system, very lightweight, and a lot of safety features built in. And so that's a system at a glance. Jeff, next slide, please. In terms of configurations, this system does most basic configurations, which are typically the applications or time of use or self-consumption, or backup. It does all of that, but with recent changes to, for example, the net energy metering programs in different parts of the country, we've come up with 3 main configurations. So you could have and this is to optimize, the ROI, right? The return on investment. So you could go with a real simple system, which is solar only. That would be basically the little diagram on the bottom shows the inverter where you see the Q-Cells logo. The inverter is called Q-Volt. Our battery is called Q-Save. And then, of course, the hub is the Q.HOME hub. So in this configuration, you could do solar only with just the inverter, or you could do grid support by adding a battery, and that's what's shown here. A couple batteries can get installed. Or you could have a complete backup system that backs up your whole home or partial. And now we're adding the hub. For that, you obviously need the auto transformer, the transfer switch, and that's what comes in the hub. So those are the different configurations. Would love an opportunity to have our application engineers reach out to you, kind of review a project and see how we might earn your business. But that's the product, and we look forward to working with you. Jeff?
All right. Hey, thank you, Cam. That was excellent. We have some more information, actually. We don't want people to go away with outdoor prizes. So for everybody who is watching this, we have 2 very exciting offers here. The first QR code on top, scan that QR code, and you will be taken to our technical documents library. That's all of our technical documents, pre-install, during install, post-install, everything that you need for Q.HOME Hub or for Q.HOME Core. So scan that, get all the documents, single lines, configurations, different application-specific guides. Anything that you would need is that first QR code. On the second QR code, you have 3D animatic instructions. I don't know if you've ever heard of Built, but this is really cool stuff. If you ever check them out, check out their website. This is a very quick and fast way to get all the instructions already downloaded into your home or into onto your phone for about the same space as like an MP3 song. So you can be out on a job site, and if you're forgetting one part of the install, you can go quickly to Built. The Built app automatically downloads when you scan the QR code. Open it up, and already downloaded will be the 3D animatic instructions for Built for Q.HOME Core. So definitely go ahead and check those out. Aside from that, we have our PTI team that will assist in terms of support. I would take advantage of this. If you're an installer and you're thinking about installing energy storage and you would like some assistance in terms of design, I would contact PTI-ESS at qcells.com or call us at 888-249-7750. Get in touch with us so that we could really put our field application engineers to the test, really use them as a resource, and certainly check it out. Everybody who installs Q.HOME Core must pass through a certification course. It is a requirement. You will not be able to commission a system unless you pass through a certification course. The certification course is at qcellspartner.us. That's qcellspartner.us. Make sure you check that out and go through the certification course. Once you've completed the certification course and have your completion certificate, send that completion certificate to PTI-ESS at qcells.com. And that will get you through to be able to install and commission your own system. So I said at the beginning that we did have an exciting summer promo, and I didn't want to leave this out. I wanted to get to this really quickly before we have Q&A. We are currently offering for installers who enroll with our SBB program, within the first 21 days of enrollment, we will give those installers a $100 e-gift card. So $100 per enrolled homeowner or per onboarded homeowner for 21 days after an installer enrolls in SBB. So certainly check that out. If you're a Texas installer and want to take advantage of this, do it. Check it out. We also have kind of a joint promotion with Q.HOME Core. We're going to be offering the highest tier product discount for installers who enroll in SBB and sell Q.HOME Core. And for more information on that, we have 3 Q-Cells contacts for the state of Texas below in the table: John De Los Santos, James Gilligan, and Kelly Norman. If you already have a relationship with one of these people, stick with them. Certainly stick with the person. If you don't have a point of contact at Q-Cells and you are in the state of Texas, recommend you reach out to James Gilligan. That's James Gilligan, james.gilligan at qcells.com, james.gilligan at qcells.com. So for both of these summer promotions, where you get a high product discount, you get a $100 gift card for enrolling people, that's a great deal. And then of course, for installing Q.HOME Core, if you install 2 systems, 2 Q.HOME Core systems, we will give you a $500 e-gift card. So again, lots of great stuff going on here. If you are interested, please contact one of the contacts here, and we'll be sending out this presentation to everybody who came today. So make sure that you get it. So that leaves us with Q&A. We had a question come through. We had a couple of questions. First question was, is one main advantage with all of the solar buyback products that all the energy rates are fixed? In other words, non-solar customers are at the mercy of RTM pricing. So one of the main advantages that the products, the energy rates are fixed. I think that would go to Tim.
Yeah, let me jump in on that. So no, so after Winter Storm Uri, it's actually illegal to sell real-time pricing products to customers for their grid supply. So we can compensate them for real-time market, giving them credits. We cannot give them charges based off the real-time market. So the fixed rate is pretty much the standard for grid power in Texas, regardless of its solar buyback or not. Now, the structures around, now you may find things like tiered pricing, things along, free nights and weekends, things like that. None of that is going to be real-time exposed. It's just going to be different tiers of fixed rate. The advantage of solar buyback is, the main advantage of solar buyback is that primarily it's the only way to get credit for power you're sending back to the grid. Like I mentioned in my presentation, if you don't have a solar buyback agreement with your third-party supplier, you are donating that power to that supplier. They're not going to give you anything for it, but they get full credit for it. And so the solar buyback agreement is the way that you set up that arrangement with them to get paid for what you're giving them. And then the different structures of solar buyback, our main advantages are that we do not have a hard cap on how much we'll buy from you for any of the products. And we do not expire credits, pool credits, anything like that. We settle it to cash on your bill, and we'll roll that over indefinitely, just like we would if you had overpaid a bill. Those are two of our key components that I think really sets us apart in a world where everyone's sort of clamping down limits on the solar buyback to limit their exposure for having to pay customers for the power that these customers are selling. So I hope that answers the question.
That was good. So we do have another question. This one is again SBB. How do homeowners enroll in the exclusive Q-Cells Chariot solar buyback plans? So how do we enroll in these kind of exclusive plans? Do they reach out to Chariot and let them know they have a Q-Cells system? What's the how do they do that?
Good question. So it's all web-based. It's all promo code driven. So a Q-Cells installer needs to reach out to their representative, be it James Gilligan, Kelly, whomever it is, and they will be able to walk you through the process of getting onboarded with Chariot. We've got to set you up in our system. It's a very short web form. Basically, we gather just a handful of items about your company and who the contact is, and then we will get you in our system, and we'll send you a promo code and a direct link, as well as a landing page. And if you send us a high quality logo, we'll build you a customized landing page with your logo on it, as well as a flyer, a leave behind flyer with a QR code that links to your plan. And then the actual enrollment for the customers, when they have that promo code that's baked into that link, it'll take them into the plan listing, and they'll see the Lumen and Radiant plans, and they'll be able to pick whichever one they want. And then the actual application process for the customer is the exact same application process that they do for any of our other plans. It's a very simple web form online application, real-time credit check. Takes about a minute and a half if you kind of know what you're doing. It's pretty standard how it's handled in the world today. So there's nothing special about the actual customer's enrollment process with solar buyback. They're just selecting a solar buyback product, and then the actual application is the same for any other product. But in summary, to get access to the plans so that you can offer them to your customer, reach out to your Q-Cells representative, and they'll be able to set you up with me, and we'll get you onboarded and get you a promo code and get you going.
That's excellent. We have two questions on Q.HOME Core. So first question is Q.HOME Core available today? Cam?
Great question. Thank you for that. I'm very happy to say it is available, and it has been available, and we have installed many of these systems nationwide. We have a couple local manufacturing distribution partners that can support you on the logistics. But I would say definitely get in touch with our sales managers or regional sales managers so we can help you source the equipment and also engage in a little bit of training, design review and support you so that everything works well.
Awesome. And the second Q.HOME core question was, will you be on site to help install Q.HOME core?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this has been part of our business model, actually. We're actually, before we get on site, as I just said, once you identify a job site, we would welcome you to reach out to our FAEs, our field application engineers. We have 7 of them throughout the country, in the Northeast, the Southeast, the Midwest, the Southwest, the Western US. And what we would do is help your team, review the design, the single line diagram, help create a bill of material, and do some online training. Jeff, you talked about the installer certification program. We'll take that step further and join you on a job site and help you with the installation hands-on. And our goal is to help you to become experts, right? So that you guys are comfortable with our version of this energy storage system. Yeah, we'll absolutely be on hand and on site.
It's definitely something if I were an installer, I would want to take advantage of. If you have an expert who's willing to come and work with you, even if it's for, say, the first one, the first install that you do, it'd be a great way to kind of train your crews and see the product, feel the product, have an expert there to answer questions along the way. That's excellent.
And Jeff, is it's an opportunity for us to learn from you. You guys are the experts, and we love learning from you, and that just helps us to make better solutions, better products. And again, thank you for all your feedback, but we learn from you guys as well.
Got another one for Chariot here. So locking in fixed energy rates for 5 years is a long time. Is the impetus for this an expectation that energy prices will continue to fall in years to come? If not, how is Chariot hedged against potential wholesale price increases? Pretty technical.
I was muted. So the thing to keep in mind with how that we manage the pricing with Chariot on a portfolio basis, when a customer signs up for a fixed term, so they sign up for a 5-year lock deal. If wholesale prices right now are, say, 5 cents to make up a number, if they go to 20 cents, that's not going to affect the customer. That's not the customer's problem. That's our problem. They're locked in for the term of the agreement. Now, if you look at a long-term view of where do we think the market's going to go, I mean, that's a very good question. There's a lot happening in the world right now. So it's if you know the answer, you could easily make $1 billion on that answer. So, the view is, you hope for the best, you plan for the worst. And, a key strategy is when you partner with someone, with a third-party supplier, you look at the backing, you look at the financial backing of that supplier, and how well can these guys weather a storm. Chariot's weathered COVID, we've weathered Winter Storm Uri, kind of currently weathering the Ukraine deal right now. It's just a world of storms out there, and so I think the long-term view is a very unknown position. And you look at year and a half ago, we were selling rates for 12, 13 cents. Today, you can find them 7, 8 cents. So, even in the eyes of what's going on in the energy markets, things have come off quite a bit. But, they like to say that commodity rates typically go up like a rocket and down like a feather. So, I always caution customer. I've been doing this for 16 something years just to make myself feel old. I always caution customers that you're not in the business of timing the market. You're not an energy speculator. A bird in the hand is definitely worth 2 in the bush. And if if you're really hoping to get a 1/10 of a penny drop in that price, well, you may find yourself 50 tenths above where you thought where you were hoping to land. So I'm hoping that answers the question, but it's a very murky future world. And solar itself is a customer taking their own control of their long-term energy costs and taking a long-term position with it. And they really need to couple that with a long-term position with their grid power supply, especially. And while they're doing that, get that buyback locked in as well to help them maximize their ROI and take full advantage of, spend a lot of money putting those panels on the roof and be able to actually lock in everything you can, unless you know something that we don't, which, good luck. But yeah, that's kind of my stance with it. I'm a lot more conservative when it comes to these types of products, especially in the residential area where people are, times are tight, and it's not always worth the gamble for someone to try and, maybe lose 2 cents a kilowatt hour trying to save half a cent.
Sage advice. This is good. And it sounds like, in order to have kind of like the best, the best situation, the most clear and certain situation, you need a good retail energy provider. But, also, if you really want to control your energy, you need energy storage and you need solar. That's really like the key to this is you need to be in charge of your own energy and provide power for yourself. So that's that's a part of being the whole home or the whole energy solution provider that SPB and Q-Cells want.
So you're kind of taking your own destiny into your own hands as much as you can.
Exactly. Said it better than I could. Question: Could I explain SPB to customers as a texified PPA? I like texified. That's a pretty cool word. Whoever anonymous attendee, that's pretty good.
I mean, you can explain it to them any way you want, as long as you as long as the rates are the same. I mean, it kind of is. A PPA, power purchase agreement, for those who don't know, is typically, if Chariot wanted to go buy 50 megawatts of power off from a power plant, hopefully a solar power plant, we would execute that by signing a PPA with that power plant. And so you get into, community solar and some of these other things will have PPAs as part of it. And I'd say not kind of, I mean, it kind of does the same thing. PPAs, I think, are more typically from a specific asset, not to get too technical with it. I mean, technically, they're signing a PPA with us, except we're not actually producing the power. We're aggregating it and pricing it and shaping it and billing for it and disconnecting meters and connecting meters and all that. We're more the service provider. So I think the technical answer would be no, but I think effectively it's the same thing. I mean, I want to purchase power with an agreement at X cents per kilowatt hour. Sounds good to me.
Good stuff. Q.HOME core question. So how long does it take to install and commission a Q.HOME core system?
We're getting some great questions today. I got to tell you that, but thank you for that. That's one of the objectives of this system, right? Was to make it simple to install. What we heard from installers, I'm on the product management team, so we constantly reach out to installers for their feedback, opinions, and engage them with our design efforts. And the first thing they wanted was make it easy to install. I want to get on the job, install it, and get out, right? So they want to do multiple jobs. So we made it simple to install with the modular battery that plugs in. We provide simple instructions how to install it, and then very minimal wiring. And then the commissioning process is pretty straightforward. You walk up to the inverter, you take a smart device, a handheld cell phone, for example, and you just connect to the local Wi-Fi on the inverter, and then you use that to, you basically scan the barcode of the antenna on the side of the inverter, and that connects you to the inverter, and then you use that to connect to the local Wi-Fi, the homeowner's Wi-Fi. And that basically at that point, that system is connected to the cloud. And whether it's our customer support or remote application engineers, anywhere in the world, they can kind of talk to that inverter. Or if you're on site, we can assist you. The commissioning process is, is under half an hour. It's 20 to 30 minutes. Most of our application engineers have been out to job sites, and we kind of track this. We want to be, offering advantages, and that's one of the key advantages: simple to install, easy to commission, and very user-friendly, whether it's the desktop or the mobile device.
Excellent. So one last question here, unless another one comes up. The sign-up process for onboarding an installer for SBB. I think we might have already gotten to this, but maybe if we didn't, what is the onboarding process for an installer for SBB?
Sorry, didn't unmute it right away. So the onboarding for SBB is, it's a one-page form. I take your company's, just get your company's information. This is something you can fill out and just send to me. Take your company's information, contact information. You can request your promo codes to be a certain promo code. For the record, I get veto power over that, but I try to accommodate as best I can. And that's it. And then we get you in the system. And so because the Q-Cells installer program is not, you're not considered a broker in Texas because of this program, because you're not earning referral fees because of it from Chariot. So you're not selling this on behalf of someone else. You're referring it as a value add. So you don't have to register with the PUC. You don't have to do a full broker agreement, send us your W-9 and ACH and all that. You don't have to do any of that junk. It's a one-page information gathering exercise. I get you into our system. It takes about a day for the promo code to be and landing page to be set up on the back end. And then the flyer, the one-page flyer with the QR code typically follows a couple days later. But you could be up and going. Honestly, you can be up and going sometimes within a couple of hours of getting it to me. But 99% of them are up and going within a day.
Good stuff, y'all. There are no more questions, and I don't see anything coming across right now. I just wanted to thank everybody for their participation. Thank you to Tim. Thank you, Cam, for putting on the presentation and for answering questions. And hey, see, right as I'm wrapping things up, hold on. Q.HOME Core and Solar Buyback can be working together. Seems like both purpose goes the same. So yeah. I believe maybe I can answer this question. Q.HOME Core and Solar Buyback work together. Just
to jump in. I have Q.HOME Core at my house, and I have Solar Buyback. And the thing to remember is that once the battery is fully charged, that power now has to go somewhere. So it seems they're actually very complementary, because the batteries can as they're functioning as a backup, they're going to fully charge it. Cam, jump in if I get out of my league here. But the batteries function as a backup. Well, it's going to keep itself fully charged. Well, after it's fully charged, that power doesn't go into the battery anymore. It goes back to the grid. So yeah, they're actually very complementary to each other, and open up a whole new world of peak shifting and or peak shaving and load shifting, and we can do another 6 hours on that. So we don't go too far into that, but yes, they absolutely work together.
Tim, you're spot on. Absolutely, the system has a lot of flexibility for different programs and different applications in different parts of the country. What's exciting in Texas may be slightly different than what's going on in Hawaii or in California, and the system is designed with enough software interface where the user, the installer, or, certainly we can make adjustments to local grid codes and application needs. And again, that this is where you see the total value of Q cells, right? We're just not an equipment supplier. We're offering, as Tim has been talking about, the solar buyback program. One thing we didn't really get into was that we can provide also financing. We can offer the hardware, the special programs, plus the financing, plus the modules. It's really a complete system solution, and that's Q cells.
Complete energy solution provider. That is what we want to be in the market. So good stuff. All right. Going once, going twice. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming here today. Appreciate the time that you spent with us today. Thank you, Cam. Thank you, Tim. And with that, we'll sign off.